Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Wen Chen. I'm with Dr. Shon Neyland. Today we are going to talk about trust.
Yes.
Trust is a must.
Yes, you have to have trust in a relationship.
How do I trust if someone keeps hurting me? And when I know that if I'm trusting someone, I'm putting myself at a risk of getting hurt. How do you trust?
Yes. I can tell you, when I have counseled, as you know, thousands of couples, and I can tell you, trust violated is so difficult. It is one of the most difficult things to overcome. But the way to overcome trust is basically, as I've been saying in the past, is that we have to start with honesty. It starts with being honest with oneself. Now, it also means that if I cause you hurt and pain, I ask you for forgiveness, it means I must follow through with the trust. I must follow through with what I do. So trust, by the way, is emotional. It's how I feel. It's how I think in some sense, but it's really how I feel. If I feel like I can trust you, ever heard people say, I don't think I can trust you. Well, how do you know? It's how you feel. Whereas reliability deals with what I see. Now, so if I have forgiven you and given you a chance, and then you go right back and you do the same thing, that erodes trust. So a relationship needs trust in order to work on unconditional love. Unconditional love will not work in an environment where there's no trust. And that's what I really talk about in the book.
My attitude toward you is based on your behavior. You
Yes.
gave us a great example in your book, talking about your dog Scooter.
Exactly. It's basically over time. Trust must be built up over time. I would caution anyone, if you're in a relationship right now, let's say you're not married and you're about to get married, and if you've known this person for 2 months and you're saying, but I love him, I love her, I will submit to you, you don't know them enough yet. You need to get to know them. You need to learn trust. Trust is built up over time. Okay, I'll tell you a quick story about the dog Scooter. Madeline's dog Scooter. Madeline has his dog Scooter, and we got Scooter, and Scooter was trained evidently with a broom in a training camp of some type of doggy training camp. And when he saw the broom, he knew that meant trouble for him. How to not use the bathroom in the house. Well, as soon as we got Scooter, we would sweep the floor, and Scooter would see the broom, and he would shoot out of the room. He would run, and we were like, where's he going? And we put it together that when you have a mop or a broom, Scooter is gone. Well, years passed, but we would sweep, and we never hit Scooter with a broom or a mop or anything. Guess what? Scooter started staying in the room. Now, he followed the broom everywhere it went, but eventually, he just would sit down and watch you sweep, and then he wouldn't even pay attention to you over the 10, 12 years that we've had Scooter. Well, what happened? Trust. He knew that we had changed our behavior, and we were not going to do to him what was done to him when he was a baby being house trained. And that's what it's about in relationships. Trust can only be built when it is demonstrated and lived out, and that builds up reliability. But if I say one thing and do the other, then there is no trust.
When trust and reliability are broken, which means someone gets hurt,
Yes.
you call that emotional scar.
Yes, emotional scarring. And for instance, I keep telling you, okay, I'm not going to do it again. Please forgive me. I promise. And then you forgive the person, and they can't rely on you. You're not where you said you're going to be. You don't pick them up when you said you're going to pick them up. You don't do the things you said you were going to do. You're eroding reliability. Plus, you are creating an emotional scar, what I call an emotional scar in the book. Now, an emotional scar cannot be just covered over with a Band-Aid. Let me buy you a diamond ring. I know I didn't come home for our anniversary, or I know you caught me cheating. Let me just give you a new house. Let me buy a new car.
Let me do something for damage control.
For damage control. It doesn't work. It is a temporary bandage. And eventually, you have to take that bandage off, and you have to clean it out. My mom, God rest her soul, died a few years ago. And one of the things happened to her, she had diabetes, and it was hard for her wound to heal. And so it was, the doctors did the surgery, the procedure, but the wound wouldn't heal when. And they were trying to figure out what is wrong and how can we do this. So what they decided to do, they were packing it, they were putting bandages. And finally, one doctor realized, he said, this is not working. After a month, 2 months have passed, they said, Mrs. Neyland is not getting well. They had to unpack the gauze, and they had to re-clean the wound, open it up, literally suture, cut open the sutures, open up the wound, and split it open so that they can clean out the infection. And then finally, my mom began to heal. And that's the same thing in our relationships today. Many people try to put bandages over the violations that have accumulated over the years, and trust scars are everywhere in our bodies. And the way to get that help is to peel off those bandages. Talk about the emotional pain that you're experiencing. And that's how you get true healing from emotional scars.
Thank you, Dr. Shon Neyland.
Thank you.